Fellow viewers, welcome to Wobility platform. Here we are in Eugene, the state of Oregon, a beautiful place for you to come pass over and visit. It's so nice. It has so many beautiful physical features that you can enjoy. We have the beaches of your likeness. You come here, you get them. We have the mountain. You come there, you find them. You have the best brewery. You come here, you get the gist. But
Yeah.
today we are not going to talk about that. Eugene is so unique. We have great ladies who have been doing marvelous job in our various community, and they are here to give you a gist of what you don't know about Eugene women. So you know how we do it in Wobility Network? The guests introduce themselves. So I am called Ruth Chineke. Hello, who are you and how are you called?
Hi, Ruth. Thank you for having me. My name is Gretchen Doobie, and I am the Executive Director of Oregon Supported Living Program in Eugene, here in our beautiful state of Oregon. And that is an organization that supports adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities on several levels. We have a 24-hour residential program with, I think we have 19 group homes now, where people live there 24 hours a day with their staff help coming in throughout the day, but that is their home. It's very much a home environment, just like your home and my home.
Yeah.
And then we also have a program called Community Inclusion and Employment, where we help those very people who live in our residential group homes access the community however they want to, whether it's volunteering, finding employment, whether it's accessing arts and culture, friends, a social network, if
Oh,
they need
wow.
supplemental support in grocery shopping, things like that, we do that. And our third program is the Supported Living Program for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities who live independently, whether it be in their family home or in their own apartments or homes. And then our fourth program is our newest program. We've been around 40 years. And
Oh, wow.
our newest program is 12 years old, 13 now, and it's an all inclusive arts and culture program called the OSLP Arts and Culture Program with the Lincoln Gallery. And
Oh,
so, what that is a variety of arts and culture and educational classes that we offer quarterly. We kind of go with the school districts around here, that anyone in the community, whether you have a disability or not, can come to. And we have professional art instructors that we pay to teach classes for the people. And then whatever art medium is produced in our classes, whether it's pottery, printmaking, painting, weaving. There's many. That's just a few. We also do performing arts sometimes with danceability. I don't know if that's a familiar thing with you, but
yeah.
all of the art or things that are produced in those classes gets showcased in our gallery called the Lincoln Gallery. We have a pretty big art community here in Eugene, and so we're part of that on the First Friday Art Walk with the Eugene festivities and festivals that the city puts on, and all of the special shows and exhibitions we share as well.
Wow, wow, wow. That is so much work that you're putting in, and you guys are doing great. And fellow viewers, you get the gist and you know that this is what is happening in Eugene. But we might like to ask, how long have you been into this program?
Well, I started with Oregon Supported Living Program 12 years ago. I almost said 13. 12 years ago. And I noticed really quickly after starting that back then we only had the residential programs and the supported living service and the employment service, but they weren't having any fun. There was no extracurricular things offered for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And so
Yeah.
I've been with them for 12 years, and that's how long the program where the arts and culture program has been going, because I started that shortly after I began. And then I didn't tell you, and I don't even know if you know this about me, Ruth, but
I might not.
shortly after I started there 12 years ago, I felt there was a lot of disrespect happening in the community toward the people we support. And I wanted them to have a way to empower themselves and have a voice in that, and not have it be an antagonistic voice, but an empowered voice. So, myself and one of my colleagues from another organization started a community awareness campaign called Look Me in the Eye.
Look me in the eye.
Look Me in the Eye. And some of our strongest client advocates in that community awareness campaign are the women of our organization, because they're loud and proud and strong, and they got tired of the way they were being mistreated. And so they're our biggest advocates. And maybe someday I'll hook you up with one of them to interview.
That is something, and viewers of Wobility Network will be so glad to have talents that have been into this program and are also able to share their experience. But then we are so happy with the hard work you're putting in our community to see that the voice of the unheard be heard. And people who have something and who doesn't know about it have an opportunity to bring up their kids, bring up their persons with disability to gain all these beautiful plan of actions that are there to rehabilitate them, to make them be useful in our community. That is what we are really happy about. But what are the challenges you do face? Because we understand that organizations to function very well, they always have some hurdles and some. What are the challenges? Because people might be listening and they might want to say, no, we need to contribute to this great art and great work that you guys are doing?
Well, the top two that come to the top of the list are a workforce. The staff shortages in our industry across the state is a real challenge, and it's actually become quite the burden on our system. The state funds those three base programs: the supported living, the residential, and the community inclusion program is all federally funded. And so we are governed by Oregon Department of Developmental Disabilities. Um, and they fund our agencies at a certain level based on the support needs of the people that we support. And that sometimes and most often only covers the bare necessities for food, shelter, clothing. But it does not cover all of the extra things that we do for our agency and the staff. Are entry level positions. And so it's hard work, sometimes very physically taxing, sometimes mentally taxing, because of the variety of disabilities that the people have that we support. Sometimes it's basic daily living care, or sometimes it's challenging behaviors, or sometimes it's just dealing with the grief and sadness of isolation that so many of these people experience. And so we try to overcome that isolation and sadness by all of the extra things we offer. And so
Yeah.
fundraising is one of my biggest challenges, because the state funding does not even begin to cover the things we need to do.
I
And the
see.
staffing is something that I often fundraise to be able to pay extra to the staff, or give the staff other opportunities that they may not otherwise have with just the funding the state provides us. So what that challenge entails for me is constantly, like every year for 12 years, we're advocating with our state senators and the legislature, and we have active campaigns to educate all of the senators and representatives of the House in Oregon to know about the people we support, know about the crucial work that we do, and value the workforce to be a career and professionals, not just, people coming out of high school that need a job.
Yeah.
This takes dedication and commitment and a lot of variety of skill. You know, they're nurses, doctors, therapists, personal shoppers, friends, and there's just so much that is incorporated into the job, but it's undervalued and not paid enough and funded enough by the state. So that's one of the things I do, being the executive director of OSLP, is I am very involved on a statewide platform to help advocate for the rules and advocacy of people with disabilities in our state.
We greatly commend you, and words alone cannot say the amount of work you've put in for these 12 years. Um, but this question keep coming. A good number of persons with challenges in our community also say they don't have many more opportunity after they've been able to do all that. What do you think is the problem that is happening, that after they have been able to challenge themselves in all these institutions, they are still not able to fit in?
Well, I think it's just a societal problem of stigma. I think that's where the Look Me in the Eye campaign really comes into play. It's raising awareness about the fact that people with disabilities are the same as everybody else. I mean,
Yeah.
my one beloved client that I work with named Lisa says, you can't stop me from doing anything. I can do anything anybody else can do. I just might need a little more help and a little more assistance. But she's the first one to say, "Oh yeah, watch me." And so I would have to say it's our community responsibility to empower the people with disabilities to know that they do have access to these things and push on through the stigma and the barriers that are placed and access agencies like ours to help them overcome those barriers. So that's one of the reasons we started the arts and culture program, because we were hearing the same thing, that the people with intellectual and developmental disabilities in our community do not have access to the arts. They did not have access to all of these wonderful opportunities that we have there.
Yeah.
And we remove the barriers for anyone with a disability who needs to maybe have adaptations to hold the equipment or hold a paintbrush, or the easel's too high for the wheelchair. Or at our group homes, we make garden beds that are high up off the ground so you can move your wheelchair right in, and you garden like this instead of breaking your back, or
Yeah.
so it's just about raising awareness to the community, just like the movements that are happening throughout the world right now with Black Lives Matter. We need to raise awareness that people with disabilities can do the things we think they can't. And we need to believe in them, provide access, and remove barriers. Think about accessibility in our community, our transportation systems, our roadways, um, our job opportunities. There's so many things people can do, but write it off before they even try, because they're conditioned to believe they can't do it, or they would never be able to access it, or someone wouldn't help them. And so that's really my primary job. I tell people all the time, absolutely, we can make that happen for you. It is not about we can't, it's about how can we. So we're really good at thinking outside the box.
That is so nice to hear from the executive director herself. We are so proud that you are here to give us the gist. Fellow viewers, you're getting the gist. If you have any person with some challenges, tell the person everything will be okay. Just meet the right people, get the right things at hand, and you'll be placed where you think it's good for you to do something. So, as a last word before we come to an end, if you were to talk to any person with challenges here in Eugene or any part of the world now, what one word or two word can you tell that person facing any challenges as a get-go to
Well,
societal issues?
the two words that instantly popped into my head, even though I could talk for hours on that, is belief and determination. You have to believe in yourself and that you can do it. And you have to be determined to do it, because when you are determined and you believe in yourself, you make it happen.
Thank you so very much. We know your time is not easy to get, and we are so glad at the Wobility Network that you have been patient with us and you are here. And we hope questions from our viewers that is directed towards you, you'll be able to find time to give them back some answer.
Absolutely. I'm available and I appreciate you for having me. And we overcame our own barriers with technology to make this happen.
Absolutely.
But we worked together and we were determined, and here we are. So that's a perfect example of what we talked about today.
Thank you very much, the Executive Director, Gretchen, for all that you're doing. And hopefully we'll have so many great experienced leaders that are from your organization that are going to talk on our platform. And keep doing the work, for we all need an inclusive society for us to be nation builders. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ruth. I can't wait to give you a tour when this pandemic is all over.
Yes, that is it.
Thanks so much.
Wobility platform, you get the gist, is here to stay, is here to tell you the stories of the community. Goodbye. We are waiting for your questions. Bye.